The the remarks made by the Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi recently concerning the Taiwan question, I think, reflect some genuinely held views from her because over her long political career, the Prime Minister has expressed very clear views concerning Japan's history and the belief that Japanese atrocities really were nowhere near as significant as mainstream historians now recognise as a consensus view. So she has been part of a revisionist section, if you will, of the Japanese body politic. Well, I think it's an exaggeration to start with. Clearly, the matters of another country's internal affairs do not pose an existential threat to someone else, particularly in this case, Japan. So I think it's first and foremost an exaggeration and certainly a mischaracterization of the issues at hand. The second thing I will say is that the remarks were also somewhat irresponsible, and some would say reflect the naivety, the foreign policy naivety of the Prime Minister. I'm not so certain of that because I think it is quite clear that the Prime Minister has a long history of revisionist views concerning Japanese history and certainly seeks to promote the remilitarization of Japan and Japanese society. That's certainly her political tendencies historically, and I think what we saw was actually a reflection of her genuine views of the world. If there was naivety, it's simply that she didn't understand that sometimes you have to maintain some control over what you say, particularly on these sorts of matters and in significant public domains. So an exaggeration, perhaps some lack of experience, but nonetheless, I think a reflection of some genuine sentiments that she holds in relation to Japan's historical role, where she is a proponent of a revisionist view of Japanese history and its atrocities during the war. And secondly, as a result of all of that, she is also somebody who tends to favour a Japanese remilitarisation. The Prime Minister also, I think, perhaps lacks a little bit of judgment, which comes from insufficient experience in holding the position. Even if you have many beliefs and views in international affairs in particular, it is customary and responsible to exercise a greater degree of self-control over the expression of those views because the remarks that you make obviously have significant ramifications for relationships between countries. So you have to be far more judicious and careful in your choice of words and the language that you use. So I think that they're the two main circumstances, I guess, insofar as the Prime Minister's remarks about the Taiwan question is concerned.